Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Monkey in the Morning. I'm your host, the Ranting Monkey, and I hope you're having a wonderful Saturday wherever you are. I'm having an okay Saturday. Kane lived, you guys. It's meaningless to most of you. He's my baby dinosaur in Ark. And yeah, I'm talking to you about a video game right now, and I'm okay about that. I have to say that because I originally named this stream that, so I had to talk about it. Because honestly, I don't know what the hell's going on in the world. I got off the game stream last night. I was in pain, y'all. And so I went and I played around on a video game for a little bit, and then I went to bed. So I'm kind of out of the loop. I did go over and check on the old Twitter machine to see what's up. That's where I get my news from, you guys. I'm like all cool and shit. I'm down with the young people. I keep up with the trend. That's so fucking stupid. I do go over there and see what's trending though. And Boo Hillary is trending. Boo Hillary. Oh dear Christ, what is this about? What is this about? And I now have the ability to actually show you what that's about, where I didn't used to. So why don't we take a look at why Boo Hillary is trending? And yeah, just watch.
You guys remember last week when someone by the name of Hillary Clinton said that we're not gonna boo. We're classy here. We're classy.
I'll boo. You all know I can't be quiet. No, we're gonna boo. That's all right. The haters will shut up on Monday when we win.
Well, there it is. Thank you so much, Okie Native, who says Monkey is down with the bitches and hoes. You know, I really am. Rashida Tlaib, she's showing us why she got elected. That beautiful mouth of hers. I'll say it. I say boo, boo. Yeah. So that's a thing. Boo Hillary. Look, I don't mind them booing Hillary. I don't give a fuck. But wow, man. Keenan says this is sure a mature bunch of classy women. Yeah, the announcer goes on to go, all right, we dropping names. We dropping names here. Boo Hillary. Do you know why they're booing her? Did you guys see why they're booing Hillary? Because she's suggesting that Bernie Sanders didn't unite the party and that he didn't support her enough when she ran for president, and that was probably what happened when she lost, or at least that's part of what happened when she lost. She's taking her shots at Bernie right now. Now, in fairness, she should probably shut the fuck up because who cares? Hillary, you lost. That's what's important. It wasn't Bernie's fault you lost. And if you want to blame Bernie for what happened to you, maybe you should be blaming the DNC for the way they treated Bernie. He still came out and supported you. And yeah, a lot of his followers were like, fuck that bitch. But can you blame him? Can you blame him with the dirty shit the DNC pulled to try to make sure you win? You were going to win anyway. But they were so scared of a repeat of 2008. For those of you who don't know, in 2008, it was Hillary's turn, you guys. Did you know that? In 2008, it was her turn. It's why she ran for the Senate in New York. And it was her turn, damn it. She was going to be president, damn it. And then this young man named Barack Obama came from nowhere and kicked the shit out of her. And they were so worried about that happening that they made plans to make sure she won. You had all your super delegates, but not just that. You had like the dirty shit that went on behind the scenes with CNN, Donna Brazile, and the debates, where they gave her the debate questions early. And you expect your opponents to what? Wholeheartedly support you? Because don't pretend like you weren't involved in that. Don't pretend like when they sent you the debate questions, like, no, look, I can't do that. That's not fair. Maybe we should send those over to Bernie as well. You didn't do that shit. You didn't say, hey, look, I these super delegates, that is so unfair that even if he wins, I'm still gonna win. Let's just get rid of those. That's nonsense. You didn't say that. You were perfectly willing to cheat the fucking system to be the winner. And then you're mad that his supporters didn't support you? Are you insane? You lost because you were a shitty candidate from the ground up. Not just in your fucking... She had positions literally on everything, guys. If you had a policy position, Hillary was there. She supported you. Now, you might say, wait, how can she support everything? Well, that's part of what made her a horrible candidate. This is the woman who got caught saying there's a public person and then there's the private person. I got to be careful what I say in public. You were a dirty bitch. And then you take that and you pile on top the fact that the DNC was going to make sure you won no matter what. And then you got caught. This is really why the whole Russian thing bothers them so much, the DNC, because they do blame Russia for meddling in our election, but not because they're like, oh, how dare they meddle in our election, but because they blame them for losing, because it showed what dirty shitbags the DNC had been to Bernie Sanders. People always forget that part. They always forget, what was it the Russians actually found when they got into that DNC server? Do y'all remember? It was that Hillary Clinton was a dirty shitbag and the DNC and her were conspiring against Bernie Sanders. That's what was found in the DNC fucking servers. They weren't even hiding it very well. But oddly enough, nobody's ever been brought up on fraud charges, which is weird. Kind of weird. I mean, they are a private organization. Honestly, they are. They are still subject to election rules. I can't imagine any of that shit was legal. I feel like there's got to have been part of that was illegal. But if not, maybe it's not. But it's still, that's why they hated the Clintons so much. That's why the Bernie supporters hate Clinton and they're so willing to boo this bitch now. Don't get me wrong. Look, if she had won, they would have all fallen in line like good little sheeples, because that's what, that's what we do when we're partisans. And look, most of us are. Cryptic, thank you so much. There's a reason why she's Hillary Rotten Clinton. Yeah, it's boo Hillary. I just love the optics of it. These 4 women on stage, and I don't know if you guys could tell. There were 2 of the squad there, at least in the shot that they showed, because they pan over to whoever's hosting this thing, and I don't know who it is. I don't really care. But you had Rashida Tlaib and Ilhan Omar, and then between them they had that bitch from the impeachment. I've seen her a lot with the big chin that sticks out further than her nose. I don't know her name. She's a Democrat with a profile that's scary. And yeah, you got these 4 women up there. We're not gonna boo, we're classy. And then so I'll do it. I ain't classy at all. But remember, this is J-Pal. Is that what her name is? And this is the new normal. This is the chick who bragged not only about saying we're going to impeach that motherfucker, but bragged about telling her child that. That's the part that's always gotten me, that I've never seen anybody, real big out there who matters, bring up. Or it's like, she said we're going to impeach that motherfucker. Like, did you pay attention to who she originally said it to? Because I feel like that's That adds a little layer of dirt. Okie Native, thank you. They did everything but twerk. I just love how the announcer there. We're not gonna boo. We're classy like that. And I didn't play you guys the whole clip. Right after that, right after Rashida goes, y'all know who I am. Y'all know who I am. That ain't who you are. Stop it. Stop it. You ain't street. You ain't street. She pretended like she grew up in the hood. Oh man. Anyway, like she a sister, y'all. She a sister. Anyway, the announcer goes on to say, all right, we naming names. Like, what happened to being classy? You said you were classy just 15 seconds ago. I guess we're not really classy, huh? And you know what? That's fine. That's fine. Don't be classy, but don't lie to me in the beginning and tell me you're gonna be. We're gonna be classy up in this bitch. Shut up. But I mean, there was a report coming out that Hillary's thinking the most she's ever thought about running for president against Trump. Hey, Scribbles, how you doing?
Hello. What are we talking about?
Hillary, there was a report last week that this is the most she's ever really considered running against Trump again.
This is the most?
Yeah, well, you know, every new day it's the most.
Okay, and is she going to run?
Probably not. Especially, did you
care.
see this booing of Hillary?
No.
Oh, I'm glad you hadn't, because that gives me a chance to play it again for the audience.
Oh boy.
One moment. Let me rewind it. Let me rewind it and get it back up on the screen. I don't have a producer, you guys. You know this. So you have to wait for me to do all this shit myself, and I'm not that good at it.
You guys remember last week when someone by the name of Hillary Clinton said that we're not gonna boo. We're classy here. We're classy.
I'll boo.
What?
Be quiet. No, we're gonna boo. That's
Boo.
all right. The haters will shut up on Monday when we win.
There we go. I was gonna say, a hater said, by the name of Hillary Clinton, we calling names out here, taking shots.
Now, this is the part I hadn't played for you guys the first time. That announcer goes from "we classy" to "all right, we taking shots" in like that fast.
Yeah.
But anyway, the reason I brought this part up and brought up Hillary's, I might run. I've thought about it recently. Is because watching this and how many people are happy to see her booed. Like Hillary, just go away. Just stop.
You know, what a difference 3 and some odd years makes. You know,
Right?
she was going to be the glass ceiling breaker. She was going to be the representative of all the aspirations of women and the triumph over the patriarchy and the old establishment and everything. And now the squad, or I believe at least two of those people.
Two of them, yes.
Yeah. The squad is now like, oh, fuck her.
Faithless in chat. The other women are like, "Shut up, bitch! She'll kill us."
I mean, it's just
hashtag not sad.
So you've got long-term establishment Hillary, and then you've got these young bloods over here who, this is their first gig in politics.
Yeah, it is really.
And I've always
hang on.
Okay, yeah.
I do need to clear, except for Omar, because she was in the State House.
Okay.
And I don't know about Presley, but mostly their first gig.
Yeah, relatively speaking. And I've always railed against the notion of career politicians. Mm-hmm. I don't really like the concept of a career politician. I don't think it's healthy necessarily to not have some substantive irate bear experience in other places and other facets of the world than just being in politics. At the same time, though, whatever else you could say about Hillary, and there's a lot, she's been doing this a long time. She knows the game. And you've got these juniors over here laughing at her like she's nothing. Like, you guys don't know anything in relative terms of what you're doing. She could bowl you over politically in about 5 seconds if she wanted to. there's a certain part of me that goes like, look, criticizing someone, okay, but just acting like an absolute child I'm supposed to take you seriously as a representative of people. I'm supposed to take you seriously as a politician, someone who's looking out for other people, and you're up on a stage acting like you're in high school.
Well, Becca sent the apology from Rashida Tlaib over to the hashtag.
Oh, how quickly did she apologize after this?
Well, I don't know when that thing was recorded, but this apology came at 9:30 this morning.
Okay.
My statement regarding so it was last night. Regarding last night, I'm so incredibly in love. Let me retry that, guys. I'm so incredibly in love with the movement our campaign of hashtag not me, us has created. This makes me protective over it and frustrated by attempts to dismiss the strength and diversity of our movement. However, I know what is at stake if we don't unify under one candidate to beat Trump, and I intend to do everything possible to ensure that Trump does not win in 2020. In this instance, I allowed my disappointment with Secretary Clinton's latest comments about Senator Sanders and his supporters to get the best of me. You all, my sisters in service on stage, and our movement deserve better. I will continue to strive to come from a place of love and not react in the same way of those who are against what we are building in this country. This is about building a just and equitable future for my two boys, children across the country, and future generations.
This is Rashida Tlaib?
Yeah.
Okay, and this is the person who was like, we're going to impeach that motherfucker, boo Hillary, et cetera, et cetera. Yes. If you're trying to build something better than what you showed up with, acting childish and ridiculing your potential electorate, not a way to do it. And I'm talking about being the pragmatism of politics here. If you have a DNC, okay, just in general, Democratic Party, which is decidedly divided at this point. It is factionalized all over the place between the Bernie bros, Warren, Yang, Biden. Okay, when you get down to it, you have got to treat each side with a measure of respect, even if you don't agree with them. A measure of respect. Hillary, for all the things that she still represents a large swath of the Democratic Party. Like she and Biden, the old school, the reliable, sort of the establishment. The establishment, you may hate the establishment, but I hate to tell you this, they're not the establishment because they're gone or irrelevant. They're there, they're part of the process.
We just had the rankings of most admired people, and Hillary's still on the most admired women list.
Yeah.
And that's not coming from Republicans, guys.
If the DNC and the members thereof want to actually have a chance at anything, it's like anything else. It's like a new band coming into the scene, right? Let's say you have a new band coming into the scene as a jazz band. Okay, you don't spit on the old school and say we're better just because you're there.
Assassin. Keep going. I'm sorry.
You
have to say bye.
Okay, bye, Assassin. You don't say, fuck Louis Armstrong. That piece of shit. Dave Brubeck, who gives a fuck? No, we're better. Okay, maybe you can get away with that in some kind of Oasis bad boy thing for about 10 minutes, but most people are going to say, well, fuck you. What do you know? You have to, you have to pay respects to, even if it's tough, even if you have to grit your teeth while you're doing it, you have to. It's the only way to bring people in and move forward from the old way and not drive people out.
Formerly Rodline says they don't care about the establishment because they consider them all boomers. We saw this the other night with the Don Lemon laughing. Did you get to see that, Scribe?
Yeah, with him, the guy going boomers and and the crane and all that.
There's a great moment in that. That Polly picked up on. And the guy says, Boomer Rubes.
Rubes, that was it, Rubes. And I was like, man, who's
like, he used a boomer insult to call them boomers.
You Rube. That was great.
How you doing, son?
Hey, what's going on?
Oh, we're laughing at the absolute state of our political system. Now, I wanted to ask you, Scribbles, and I'm glad you jumped on because...
Wait, real quick. Shit, do I sound better now?
You sound fine.
Did I not sound fine a second ago?
You sounded a little distant, but you're okay.
Because it
You
kept on my
always sound
headset
fine.
microphone. Thank
No.
you.
No, that's it.
Yeah, for my VR. The question is, why can these people not pronounce the word Clinton?
How do you mean?
They say Clinton, Hillary Clinton. Like, play it back. I heard it and I started yelling in my car. Like, why is it Clinton?
I think it's the forum there.
Maybe.
It's kind of like when, like I said, you had Rashida Tlaib trying to sound street here. That's not how she sounds when she's talking in front of Congress.
Hillary Clinton.
Scribbles,
Yes.
you've mentioned many times about the Donald Trump and how he's not a statesman. You know, do you think, let's say Jeb Bush won and everything else is exactly the same, except for he stays off Twitter. He doesn't, swear, and he's the statesman that we're used to. Do you think we would see the same kind of stuff? Or do you blame people like Rashida Tlaib on Donald Trump?
Well, no, I certainly think the popularity and the argument. So Donald Trump is an argument that candidates can make.
Sure.
They can just say, Donald Trump, resistance is me. And that's it. Jeb Bush, if Jeb Bush were president right now, and I know that's the greatest stretch in the world, I think it would be somewhere in the neighborhood of George W. Bush, in the sense that a bit dim-witted, but not maniacal. Dick Cheney was maniacal, right? George W. Bush was just kind of like, at least that was my impression during the course of his administration. Donald Trump is aggressive. He's full of himself. He's self-aggrandizing. That's what's got him as this far in his career and everything else. Jeb Bush, no, he probably wouldn't be seen as much of a aggressive threat. But because Trump is the way he is, because he has the kind of charisma that he's got, it's sort of like, the theory in the comic books, like the only reason the Joker, the Penguin, the Two-Face exists is because Batman is there. Mm-hmm. Batman brings out a force equal to oppose him.
Sure.
Trump brings out a force equal to oppose him in the attitudes and the personalities of the people that rise to the top of our attention, not necessarily the top of our quality, to speak out against him. So you're going to have the opposite numbers, or those that are trying to be the opposite number. It's kind of weird that people are on the left, some, not all, are aspiring to be their side's Trump.
I get what you're saying there, but do you blame any of it on the social media? Because, the majority of Trump's shit like this is definitely Twitter.
The social media just galvanizes and makes it seem larger than it actually is.
Fair enough.
Because because social media, it's the reach of it. It's not. I remember Total Biscuit at one time described Skyrim as wide as an ocean but as deep as a puddle, right? So the actual value of what we see on social media, deep as a puddle, yet it is spread as wide as a fucking ocean. So it seems a lot bigger than it actually makes up.
Cook, I'm not ignoring you. Just sometimes I'm right on what's going on in chat, and sometimes I'm in the middle of conversation.
No, he's just ignoring chat.
Who's Cook?
The useless Cook. Now, I do want to address what Sinatra brought up there.
About how they can't pronounce T's?
Well, no, it's not just that. We saw this with AOC when she went to that one, and suddenly she just got it street.
This is what democracy looks like.
No, yeah, you almost have it. You're not quite there.
Well, I'm not a minority.
But the whole thing was that they're going to talk in the vernacular of the people they're speaking to. And I'm like, I have never seen you guys do this in front of an Asian forum. Not once have I seen you guys start pronouncing your R's as L's or the opposite, whichever one it is. You don't see that.
Yeah.
And
Well, because
Lamented Guy,
they don't
thank you.
give a shit about Asians.
Thank you, Lamented Guy, who said, what did Mrs. Clinton do this time? She basically blamed Bernie for costing her the election. Which, by the way, dick move, Hillary. Because he came out and campaigned to get for her, and a lot of people got pissed off at him for that. A lot of people. So you can't blame him. You might be able to blame his supporters, but you can't blame him. But yeah, they never do that. They don't do that when they go speak at an Asian forum. They don't do it when they go speak at a Jewish forum. They're not suddenly speaking with some kind of weird Hasidic accent and a lot of in their speaking. Cryptic, thank you. Hey, all white, love you too, a-hole. Love you back. You get my meaning there, though, right? I mean, they try to pass it off as, no, it's just the forum they're in. Bullshit. It's fucking racist.
Well, so do you think it's because I don't have a better word for it, the jargon of it is more sort of acceptable socially now because of comedians and TV shows and just sort of our parlance, maybe?
How do you mean, like the exaggerated bullshit speaking that way?
Yeah.
I mean, sure, if she was actually, if they were up there giving a comedic speech, and you know what, in this instance, maybe you can make that argument because she is trying to make a joke there.
Mm-hmm.
But no, I've seen this too many times for it to just be, they were just cracking a joke. And again, even then, you don't see him fucking do that at no Asian conference.
Dude,
none of them are getting up
give
there.
A shit about Asians.
They still go and speak to him, though.
Everywhere.
They still go and speak to him, and they speak to him in normal English. The actual English that because again, like AOC, this is not some chick from the hood who grew up speaking Ebonics and
she's from Westchester.
Yeah, mm-hmm. She's a burbs kid. But no, that does annoy me when I see it because, like, stop it, just stop speaking down to people. Now there is the idea when you are speaking to somebody, if you are giving a doctoral speech on astrophysics in front of a bunch of astrophysicians, is that what the word would be? Yeah. Then yeah, you're going to speak in a different way than if you're speaking to, the general dumbass populace who doesn't understand all of astrophysics. Mm-hmm. There's that idea where you bring the words you're using down to explain it better, but you don't start, dropping G's and ending every word in an R. Stop it. Astrophysicists, that's what it is.
What did you say?
No, they're astrophysicians now. Stop it.
So do you think...
I'm screen sharing, by the by.
On the one hand, you could say, and probably rightly so, that there's a lot of pandering going on there. Do you think people hearing it...
think of it as star doctors?
You were saying?
Yeah, well, do you think people see it that way, or do you think people are accepting it as them trying to acclimate themselves or ingratiate themselves in a polite way?
I don't know. I mean, I think that's how it's being presented. Is they're just they're speaking to the people like the people speak. So it's like when in Rome kind of crap.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. To me, it just comes off as horrifically fucking racist.
Well, they're Democrats, so they can't be racist. They're the good guys.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
What else do we have going on in the world today, guys? Like I said, what?
Dark Souls. That's what we have going on.
No.
I'm screen sharing it if you want to put it up.
I saw. And if I want to, I'll throw it up there.
Right.
I've got a Chris Saliza.
Oh, what's up? Oh, God, what's that idiot up to?
Dude, I am so happy you showed me that he uploads to YouTube.
Oh yeah, no, it's great. Like I said, I would have done something earlier, but most of his videos end up being very immediately topical on something that just happened. So trying to do, unless I'm really quick on the draw, and I usually am not, doing something that seems fresh or timely is kind of hard. But in that one specifically, he was talking in sort of broad strokes about the media and Fox News. That was easier. But here we go. Marco Rubio's mind-blowing explanation of his impeachment vote.
Hold that thought. Thank you over on the Streamlabs. Space Witch Doctor, who says, ooh, ee, ooh, ah, ah, ting, tang, walla, walla, bing, bang.
That's racist somehow. Somehow that's racist. Now, first off, I don't care why anyone voted the way they did. I'll just say that. It's like it's a very binary choice. You either agree with it or you don't. By an inch or by a mile, you have reasons not to, or to choose one or the other. I don't care. But apparently Chris Saliza really does care. No Congress watcher expected Florida Senator Marco Rubio to break with his party and vote either for witnesses to be called in the Senate impeachment trial or to remove President Donald Trump. But the way in which Rubio announced his opposition to both efforts via a Medium post Friday afternoon, and I look forward to Frosted Glass sending us that one, was a stunning reminder of the knots ambitious Republicans are tying themselves in to avoid outraging the president while also trying to keep themselves credible with the broader Republican electorate. Okay, here are the key lines from Rubio's statement, which you can and should read here, and he gives a link. Okay, quote, just because actions meet a standard of impeachment does not mean it is in the best interest of the country to remove a president from office.
True.
Well, that's true, because impeachment and removal are two separate parts of the process. That's why we have the House says impeach, the Senate decides whether to remove.
Yeah, and before we move on from that, I mean, it's basically what happened with Clinton.
Yeah.
Clinton, it definitely met impeachment. I mean, the man fucking lied under oath.
Mm-hmm.
But it wasn't a good reason to remove him from office.
Yeah, if impeachment by itself was all that was needed to remove from office, we wouldn't have the two-step process.
Indeed.
So that statement is entirely valid. Second statement, quote, I will not vote to remove the president because doing so would inflict extraordinary and potentially irreparable damage to our already divided nation, unquote. Okay.
And Chris has a problem with this, I'm guessing.
Well, I'm assuming so, but again, so just so you know, those are the only two parts of the statements that he's quoting here. And the first statement is, I mean, even if you don't think it's philosophically true, it is mechanically true by the way that our system is set up.
Sure.
And the second statement is entirely a valid opinion to remove a president in the middle at all for something like this or in this situation at the timing. So anyway, back to Chris. So, period. What Rubio is saying is this.
Okay. What's her name? Kathy Newman? The lady who did the Jordan Peterson interview?
Yeah.
So what you're saying is...
Well, so what except in my mind, and I almost did this in my video. Yeah, you know Johnny Carson, he had that Karnak character.
Oh, yes.
With the big turban thing on that he'd do like the psychic readings. I really wanted to like Photoshop one of those on top of Chris's head when he's talking about knowing what other people were thinking.
Sure.
And that's what I'm imagining right now is that Chris Saliza has stopped, reached off camera, pulled out a giant turban, put it on his head, and put his hands up and just say, so what Rubio is saying is this. One, Trump did the things in regard to Ukraine that have been alleged. New witnesses that would testify to the truth of the allegations are not needed for my threshold analysis, which already assume that the allegations made are true, Rubio wrote. Oh, that was a quote from Rubio. Let me try that again to make sure, because Chris did a very awkward thing there. All right, so this is Rubio quoting from Rubio writing something. Quote, new witnesses that would testify to the truth of the allegations are not needed for my threshold analysis, which already assume that all the allegations made are true. Okay, so Rubio believes that Trump did all the things that he was impeached for. Well, I mean, if I'm just taking that one sentence without any other context, but if he didn't need any more information tell him that.
Well, what he's saying, yeah, because that's not saying that he believes it. He's just saying, look, even if everything is true, here's my analysis.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. Number 2, partisan impeachment is bad. Well, wait.
That's not true.
Wait.
What?
I mean, Chris, that may be true in sort of a broad scope philosophical level, but nothing that Rubio said in those 2 statements mentions partisanship at all.
No, it didn't.
In any way, shape, or form. Those 2 statements could come from any individual.
This is his response to what Rubio had just said. All right.
Yeah, okay, so just I'm going to have to go back because I understand I'm getting very granular here, but I want to strike the point. I'm going to reread the 2 statements from Rubio. Just because actions meet a standard of impeachment does not mean it is in the best interest of the country to remove a president from office.
Mm-hmm.
I will not vote to remove the president because doing so would inflict extraordinary and potentially irreparable damage to our already divided nation.
Now,
those two statements could have come from the Clinton impeachment from a Democrat.
Sure. Now, I will give him that the very last part of that kind of hits partisanship.
Irreparable damage to our already divided nation.
Divided nation. Look, I'm
okay.
trying to give him the benefit of the doubt here because the
All
rest
right.
of it makes no sense.
Okay, that's a little bit of a stretch, but okay, I'll give it to you.
Yeah.
So Chris's second point is partisan impeachment is bad. Number 3, he is voting against removing the president. Well, yes.
So?
Okay, and so Chris, from these amazing interpretations, what do you derive from this? So, and just hear me out on this.
So
there's a sort of when I was in writing classes in college, one of the tips I got from a teacher one time is write a story in the way in which you would be telling it to somebody if you're sitting around a campfire. And I'm like, okay, that not necessarily a bad way of doing it. However, that was creative writing class, not journalism class.
sure, right.
And so Chris is a blogger. Let us.
He is.
I want to. Every time that it comes up, I just want to tell everybody: Chris Cillizza is not a journalist. He is a blogger. That's it. And there is a difference, and everybody in the modern day knows it.
Wait, time out. I base my claim of being a journalist on the fact that CNN employs journalists. So I'm going to need you to be careful with what you're saying there, Scribe.
All right. Well, let's continue with the journalism. So, and just hear me out on this. What if Rubio, guys? What if Rubio, who says he takes as true the allegations against Trump, voted to remove Trump? Wouldn't that make the impeachment bipartisan?
Not what he said, but no.
And therefore nullify or at least mitigate the core of his argument that the country would see all of this as nothing more than a partisan affair?
Nothing you quoted said he said that that's how the country sees it. He just said it would be a problem for an already divided country. You fucknut of a jackass.
Has there been a time in recent memory where we haven't had a divided country?
Hi, baby.
Hello.
Say hi to everyone.
Chill out. Hello, everybody.
Hi, Lady Monkey.
Hello.
Oh, did Lady Monkey see the thumbnail from last night?
Did you see the thumbnail from last night? I don't think she did.
Oh, I will post it again and tag her in it so she can see it.
Sin and Scribe both said hi.
Hi, fellas.
Are you getting ready to go out?
Yeah.
Oh. I love you. I can't go with you. I'm streaming and I have a cut on the bottom of my foot.
You say that like you were invited.
Oh, shit.
Ouch.
Oh,
Why you gotta be hurtful?
Damn, girl.
See, you guys hear this shit from her, and she is so sweet to me. How dare you? She put it on the front, y'all.
Hi, chat.
Oh, you got Charlie and them laugh. Oh, look, everybody, yeah. Don't take her side. You ain't listening to the Lady Monkey channel.
Oh, it's a good idea. I'll just take over your channel. Odds are I'll put out as much content as you.
Ha!
You gonna put out as much as you did in high school?
Oh.
Now I'm going to turn my toothbrush on and fling some water at you.
Thank you, Okie Native. Lady Monk knows she's too hot for you, right? Oh, yeah, she does. I tell her all the time. She could have done much better than me. They just don't make it.
You're sweet. Thank you.
I love you, baby.
Yes, I'm always right. Mike Savage nailed it right on the head there.
That's not true. That is not true. Your channel is the Lady Monkey channel. You're just living in it. That's true.
Amen.
This is the Lady Monkey / Lil Butt channel. I just fill up the time between when they come on. What?
I could go get that loud noise maker thing that you gave her a week ago.
No, we're good.
Okay.
I didn't give that to her. She found it in here. That was your youngest son's. And she came running into the room and just goes, I was like, no, stop.
Yeah.
I was on the air at the time.
She came upstairs and did that too.
I told her to. I told her to go bother grandma with it.
That's fantastic.
It's better than they're doing it on here. All right, we're doing a show.
Yeah, we're doing a show. Go away.
What?
No, feelings hurt. Too late.
You know, please.
Recovered.
Anyhow. Welcome to Monkey in the Morning, where shit just goes wherever it goes.
Hey.
So we were talking about Lizard and his
Lady Monkey, she's not shit.
His inability to actually read what he read.
Yeah, so apparently Marco Rubio's just a big hypocrite because he'd be solving all of his concerns if he would just vote the way that Siliza wanted him to.
Well, that's why I thought it was important to point out that Marco said that his reasoning is is based even on the fact if everything Trump did was guilty of.
Yeah.
Not necessarily that he absolutely was guilty of it all.
Right. If it's all true, it doesn't rise to the level of removal.
Yeah, even if it were. And there's a lot of people who have a problem with that, and not just Chris. I saw this on Twitter as I was scrolling a little bit last night. There's a lot of people who have the problem with, look, even if he did it, I don't think it rises to this.
Right. Well, the next part gets right into that. Chris says, and more broadly, how can anyone read, much less write, this sentence and think that it all makes sense? And again, he says, quote, just because actions meet a standard of impeachment does not mean it is in the best interest of the country to remove a president from office, unquote. Yep. Back to Chris. Huh? So Trump has done things that meet the standard of impeachment, but impeaching him for committing... Wait, I'm going to try to read that again. So Trump has done things that meet the standard of impeachment, but impeaching him for committing impeachable acts would be bad for our partisan divide. Am I reading that right? Yes.
He does.
Chris, do you understand that impeachment and removal are two different things?
No, they don't.
Chris does not seem to understand this. The impeachment has occurred. Trump has been impeached. Removal from office is not a continuation of being impeached. No. He has been impeached. Removal from office is a separate thing, Chris.
He is the third impeached president, and he will be the third not to be removed from office.
The why...
real quick, before you keep... Sinatra.
What?
Because you just asked, did he actually write When Scribe says this man is a blogger, he's not kidding.
I believe it.
You should read some of the shit this man actually writes. I'm sorry, Scribbles. I just wanted to point that out.
I'm just...
Okay. I wanted to point that out because it's important.
No, I know, I understand that. It's fine. But I'm still, my brain is still stuck on the fact that, I don't credit Chris Siliza with knowing a whole hell of a lot, but
sure.
Even I would think, at least before 2 minutes ago, that Chris Siliza understood how impeachment versus removal operates.
Well, again, he's at the beginning of this. Didn't he say this is causing a problem for Republicans? They're something like their ability to be real or whatever.
Republicans are tying themselves in knots to avoid outraging the president while also blah blah blah. Yeah. Okay.
Hey, look, I think he deserved to be impeached for this. I still don't think it rises to the level of being removed from office, which, by the way, is what fucking Rubio said.
Okay. Going on. The why behind Rubio's statement is much easier to discern than the statement itself.
This was empty before.
I'll be right back.
Okay.
And so Chris once again is going to read minds. Rubio ran for president in 2016. He would like to do so again, maybe as soon as 2024. Is that true?
Probably.
I mean, well, now has he made a statement to that effect?
Not that I'm aware of.
Okay. To do so successfully, Rubio will likely need to walk a very fine line between the Trump faction of the party and the bloc, currently mostly in hiding, who believe in a very different version of what the Republican Party can and should be. Or, Chris, or he agrees that what Trump did was impeachable, but doesn't feel that it is removable.
Right. Which
it could be, hey, Chris, a cigar is sometimes just a cigar, and you should appreciate that being a Clinton backer.
Well played indeed.
I try. Remember, too, that Rubio has some work to do with the Trump folks following his decision to go nuclear on Trump during the 2016 campaign. Quote, you know what they say about men with small hands, unquote. I presume that was some shit talking. And Rubio is also not beloved by the never Trump crowd, such as it currently exists, because he's a Republican? No, because of his willingness to endorse Trump as a candidate and support him as president. Attempting to please all sides is what produces statements like Rubio's.
Yeah.
Chris, okay, I don't know what else Rubio has said on the subject. I only know the two sentences that you have reproduced here, and both of those sentences are so ambiguous as to intent, save for the actual content therein, that unless you have your turban on, I do not believe a word you are saying about Rubio's secret intentions or plans for the future. Because everything that Rubio said is a reasonable stance to have. You might not agree with it, but it's a reasonable stance to have, and one that a lot of people share, myself included. Impeach Trump? Yes. Remove? No.
Over on the Streamlabs, thank you, Foxy Veritas, who says, I am finally receiving VA benefits for my PTSD, so here's a donation to celebrate. Thank you so much. And Space Witch Doctor, I don't remember if I thanked you for that donation where I sang the ooh-ee, ooh-ah-ah thing. Thank you if I didn't.
Anyway.
No, you're right. And it feels like there's some people out there who just don't understand exactly what we're trying to explain here, that you can think Trump deserved to be impeached for this. You really can.
Mm-hmm.
And not think it rises to the level of removing him from office.
But they don't understand that they're two separate things.
And that's what's weird about it, because we're not that far removed from Clinton. And for a lot of these people, I know that this little shit, he's old enough to at least have studied it. At least look it up. There's a lot of people. Look, with Clinton, I absolutely 100% like, yeah, that dude deserves to be impeached.
Mm-hmm.
But I was also 100% he does not deserve to be removed from office for it.
It's like this like ideological imperative. If you believe the one, you cannot believe the other, which is not how it works. Like I said, if that is how it works, we would not have a two-step process, and there wouldn't be two different branches of, chambers dealing with both questions. It is a two-question thing. Is it impeachable? Yes. Is it removable? Yes or no? What does he not understand about that? What does he not understand about the fail-safe of that? Because the whole idea is a president can act in such a way that deserves recognition in the negative. Is it heinous enough that they no longer should be at the helm? Those are two separate questions. And Chris doesn't seem to understand that these are not conjoined together as one philosophical imperative.
Did you watch the last couple of days of the impeachment?
Are you kidding me? No.
Fair enough. But at least you saw like the rhetoric and shit going on.
Oh yeah,
online.
I saw the highlights. I watched an hour or two here and there. Yeah, sure.
It was amazing how many times I heard the Democrat House managers say, our very democracy is in danger. If this is allowed to go, our democracy is in danger. I'm like, I don't think this is going to stop people from voting.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure. Now, the idea being, well, if they had announced investigations into Biden, which, by the way, they've actually done now, I just don't think that announcing investigations into Biden in Ukraine was going to cause a big deal. I'm kind of with you, Scribe. Like he at least deserves a slap on the hand for it.
Yeah.
If
impeachment just kind of seems like a badge of dishonor or whatever. Like it's nothing.
Depends on when it happens. I think censure for me was probably the smarter way to go, and I think it was probably more appropriate. But I don't have a big problem with him being impeached. I really don't.
Yeah.
But I don't think he should be removed from office. I definitely don't.
Yeah.
Especially when we have a Congress that has spent fucking 3 years trying to find something, trying to find anything, and this is what they came up with.
Yeah. And I mean, if nothing else, and I know that's not necessarily a stunning endorsement here, but the appearance of impropriety in this is enough coming from the executive to warrant, in my mind, the most censorious thing they can do, which is impeachment. Now, is this the worst thing that a sitting president has done and didn't end up being impeached for it? Fuck no.
Hell no.
There is a raft of things that Obama probably should have been impeached for. Removed from office, arguable. Same thing with George W. Bush, and certainly with fucking Dick Cheney. I mean, these guys were corrupt as fuck, and they never got called to the mat on it because the Republicans were in charge at the time. And so this is all just politics, but I can't look at the past so much. I look at the situation right now. This is what the Democrats wanted to bring up. I think obstruction of justice was a much clearer path of pursuit that they could have gone down, but they didn't. God knows why. They could have made that case a hell of a lot clearer than they could have this Ukrainian call thing.
There's some people like, why would he deserve his hand slap? Look, if everything, the worst that is shown, and I think we've been shown enough that it was at least hinted to that the money was being held for the investigation, then that's fine to slap his hand for. Mm-hmm. Midnight Next, thank you. How do we keep missing the difference between international RICO crimes and dirt? I'm not missing the difference there. I understand. I think Biden should be investigated for what happened. But if the president was like, hey, investigate him or I'm not giving you money that actually I don't have the power to hold from you, that's not something he's allowed to do. There's actually laws for that. But again, I don't think the man should be removed, and that's where we are now. I think Nancy made a huge mistake asking for impeachment, asking for the inquiry. I really do. I think that was a dumbass move on her part. I think she let herself get led partially by Adam Schiff and partially by the push from the Justice Democrats, which I will remind you guys again, want to see her out of office. Yeah, I love that part of this whole thing
because she's establishment. She's the Hillary Clinton of the Senate.
Yeah, your AOC people, those people you were trying to please, Nancy, are actively trying to unseat people in your caucus. Actively trying to unseat the people who support you, you dumb wench. Thank you, Jay Reynolds. Sanut, did you check your Discord yet? Sent you a present in DM. The name
I did not see it, but I will check it out.
Zarzan, I think is how you say that. Zarzan? Yeah, so check that out. But that's not what happened. If you read the transcript, that's not even near what happened. Which transcript? Which part? Which part? There's a whole lot. I listened to almost all of the testimony. I will admit that the chick on the last day of the Judiciary Committee, I didn't listen to. Mm-hmm. I've caught a couple of pieces of her from now and then, but yeah, I paid quite a bit of attention to this.
You know, the sort of a tangential thought. I'm both curious and concerned about what sort of.
Oh, yeah, I saw this a few days ago.
Oh, never mind. I'll just wait. You done?
Yeah.
Okay. What sort of, not necessarily legal precedent, but what social precedents Trump is setting for future presidents? Like, Obviously now Trump has shown that a non-politician can become president, which is something that I don't think most people sort of understood was a possibility prior to him. I mean,
not at that level. Not at that level.
Yeah, there's nothing in the law, obviously, that says you have to be a politician in order to become president. But I think just sort of culturally, we just expect and anticipate that someone is at least has some years in public service prior to becoming president.
Well, the last time we saw anything close was Perot, and he got what, 8%, something like that.
Yeah. But someone to actually make it. So I'm wondering, and this is kind of a really abstract question, what danger is there in Trump setting a standard of tolerance for not necessarily incompetence, but for inexperience in dealing with statecraft? Are we willing to put up with if we have more people coming in the future who are not politicians, do not have diplomacy experience, etc., but become president of the United States? Do you think there's a danger in? And again, I don't want to. I am not a fan of career politicians, but someone being entirely bereft of public service or international experience coming into the office, it raises a concern for me.
And I get what you're saying there, but I'm not sure how much experience you could ever have for the presidency.
Well, I mean,
that's a whole different bag. Even because we tend to hire senators, we tend to hire governors. If you look back over the last, my lifetime, and certainly going, let's see, Kennedy, Nixon, Johnson, all of these people, they were senators or governors, including Reagan, who he wasn't at the time, but he'd been governor of California. Vice presidents, we do that. There's no job that actually prepares you for the kind of thing. There's no job that's going to prepare you for the call he had with Ukraine.
But I mean, hold on. The call with Ukraine. Now, you can read into it whatever intentions or whatever else, but but even prior to the call, Trump did not seem to have, and still to this point does not seem to have, an understanding of the weight of his words as president versus as civilian.
I get what I understand what you're saying there, but I'm also of the opinion. One, how many times have we heard that Trump has broken precedent?
Hey, you're not gonna get an argument from me that all the complaints of he's not acting like any president before is like he doesn't have to.
Exactly, and that's
outside of the law. He doesn't have to.
And we have in this country and actually in the world elevated our president to a place he shouldn't have been in the first place.
Sure.
He never should have been there. Devil Fruit Zero, thank you so much. Did you hear the senator that said the Steele dossier was okay, opposition research, because Hillary bought it with her own money? No, I didn't. I did not.
Oh, boy.
Different standards for different people.
Well, I mean, technically, she wasn't in the public. She wasn't a public official at the time. Far more disturbing for me is what went on in the FBI with the FISA warrants, because I mean that was government officials doing shit. I don't think it's okay that she did that, but I mean, it is amazing to me because we had this discussion, and if you go back, I think it was back around August, which is weird that this came up at that time. They started asking Donald Trump, would you accept dirt from a foreign nation? They're like, nobody's allowed to accept dirt from a foreign nation. That's not true. That's absolutely not true. And Donald Trump said, fuck yeah, I'll take it. And they were like, you can't do that. It's not illegal. Right. It's not. And like, that breaks precedent. No, it doesn't. First of all, you lying fuckbags.
You know, it's just because Trump said it. If Hillary had said it, they'd be like, she's so brave.
They just flat out ignored it. Look, on this show especially, I have railed and ranted and raved repeatedly about how nobody pays attention to the fact that a British spy went and got in touch with the Russians to make the Steele dossier. I'm sorry, former British spy.
Yes. He's retired.
And nobody cares. Nobody cares. That was fine foreign interference in our election. So believe me, I understand what y'all are the point there about that. But yeah, you do have to remember she was a private individual at the time, and we were talking about using. They kept saying that the weight of the government to influence an election, which Which, by the way, did you notice how many times the House managers admitted they were using the weight of the government to try to influence the election?
Yeah.
How many times they flat out fucking said it? Thank you, Makuta Pterodax. Good evening from a free and independent UK. I look forward to free trade with you guys across the pond. God save the Queen and God bless America. Right back at you, man. Oh, I missed you sent that over on Streamlabs earlier. I'm so sorry I missed that. The exact same message. Good evening from a free and independent UK. We are now free from the European Union and we can taste the freedom. I look forward to a future free trade with you guys. God save our gracious Queen and God bless America. So slightly different message. I'm so sorry I missed that the first time. I don't know why I didn't see that. I want to see. I want
to see Trump and Johnson up on a stage together after this, trading hair care tips.
That would be awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we did have. We'll change the subject a bit, guys, because we've been on the impeachment crap for a while.
Well, actually, a good time for me to break because I got to go get some stuff done and get some lunch. So,
all right, man.
Yep. Thank you for having me on, Monkey.
Have a good one, bud.
Yep. Bye, Sinatra.
See you, Scribe.
Bye.
So the UK is free of oppression from the EU. Good thing, bad thing, Sin?
We'll see. I don't see it being a bad thing yet, but I feel like the EU is going to pull some shady shit.
Well, we already heard the guy from France. I forget his. I never knew his name, but I forget
Macron.
his position. No, it wasn't. It wasn't Macron. One of their EU MPs, I think, is who it was, who said that they'd put the screws to the UK if they actually dropped out. They were gonna make them pay. Like, you guys aren't.
What are they gonna do?
Try to fuck them in trade agreements, because the EU itself was a trading partnership. That's what it was supposed to be, and then it became what a lot of people wanted the UN to be back in the 90s. I don't know if you're old enough to remember it. Well, you're definitely not old enough to remember it, but I don't know if you've ever looked into this. And there was a push to actually turn the United Nations into basically a world government body. They got to tell us what to do. It basically take our sovereignty away, the way that the EU would takes away all their member states.
Go fuck yourself.
Yeah, I mean, we're a country that believes in sovereign states, for fuck's sake. You think we're going to put up with the UN telling us what to do? And it blew up on them. It did. It actually almost. There was a big push when this shit was going on for us to just leave the United Nations altogether. And so they shut the fuck up and have stopped talking about it for a while. Ooh. Shadow Knight says the UN is still trying to pull that shit. Yeah, but you don't have the big push here in the States. You actually had our leaders talking about it and supporting it. And like, no, we'll keep our sovereignty. Sorry, guys, that is the sound of the nectar of the gods. I have to refill my drink. There we are. What time is it? Oh, man. I don't know how long I'm going to be going today, Sin. I have the show tonight at 9 p.m. Eastern time right here, guys.
Did you ever do what you said you were going to after we got off?
No. Well, I started it, and then I say, you know what? We can talk about it, Sin.
All right.
I told Sin and Jack the other day that I was going to make a video, and I sat down and I started it. I did. And I've done this probably 5 to 6 times over the last month and a half. And I get about halfway through, and I'm not happy with it. And there's no coming back when you're not happy with your video. I'm trying, Sin. I'm trying. It just, something doesn't feel right. I almost miss when I first started making videos, when it was like, I don't even know what I'm doing. Fuck it. I'm going to throw it up there and see what happens. Because, I mean, that was a little more freeing. Now I feel like there's a standard I have to keep, which is weird because my videos are shit. And A video? Are you ready to make one? I'm getting, Stacy, I'm trying. I really am. I got all of it put into because all I had to do was download a video. There was a thing I was going to respond to. And I didn't even download, no, not download a video, download the still shots from it and put them into the editor and start my part. Because in this one, it was going to be on the chick who wants dick, but not heterosexual dick. And yeah, I got about halfway through my recording. I'm like, I don't like this at all. I don't like it at all. So I'm getting there, man. I'm trying, but it's like writer's block, but not.
I don't know. I just make videos.
Yeah, but you never started or stopped either.
That's true.
We'll get there. Monkey, your standard is ranting. Just let it flow. Yes, I know. And like I said, I kind of wish I was back at the place where I'd never done it because I had no standards because I didn't know what the fuck I was doing. They're like, but this is but there you go. Here's my opinion, and I'm done. But you don't want to be a heterosexual, but you want dick. Yeah, Jeanette, if you didn't hear, Slate has a.
Dude, this article is so fucking insane.
It is. Slate has an advice column, and this bitch writes in that she says she's in a classic millennial pickle. I remember that line specifically because it's well, kind of funny given the rest of the context. She's in a classic millennial pickle in that she is against heterosexuality politically and personally. She actually said that politically and personally. And so she's come up with this plan. She came up with this plan to still get dick by fucking bisexual or gay men. And she wanted to know what was the best way to introduce herself to that demographic. And the answer is almost as dumb as her question. And I know that's hard to do because that's a retarded fucking question. This is a woman who thinks having heterosexual sex with a gay man is somehow not heterosexual. I can only guess that this is somebody who watches Riley Dennis videos. Because remember, Riley Dennis has all that gay sex with his penis in Fiona's vagina.
I don't know whatever happened to Riley. I think he just gave up on YouTube.
I think he stopped making videos, but he's still on Twitter. He just got a bunch of shit on Twitter the other day, dude. I don't know if Satsu follows him or if it just popped up in his timeline, but Riley Dennis came out in support of Elizabeth Warren. And a whole bunch of his followers were like, nope, this ain't it. I think that's a direct quote from one of them.
Have you been like seeing the BreadTube wars?
I've been keeping a little bit of an eye on it.
It's fucking hilarious.
It's funny, you know, we've talked about this a long time that, you know, they're eventually going to eat their own, and they're doing it. I mean, they've done it all along, but they've always been able to just a tiny section. We'll just cut off a little section. Well, they're down to the whole trans thing, which is where most of the BreadTube fighting comes from. And it's funny, but you also have right now added on top of that with BreadTube, you either have Bernie supporters or Warren supporters, and they're coming at each other. So yeah, it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun. BreadTube infighting. Who's involved? Let's see. A lot of the times it's Contra, because Contra keeps coming out and saying things like she believes in biological sex, which, whoops, you're not supposed to say that out loud.
Right. That's a no-no.
What else? You had the Bernie Warren thing is the one blowing up right now. You had what's his name? Peter Coffin came out and was his supporting Bernie? I can't remember. Coffin had a video the other day. Coffin also, did you see he invoked the ghost of Gamergate?
Mm-mm.
Yeah. Gamergate was actually trending again what's today? Today's Saturday, maybe Tuesday. Yeah, they'd blown it up again. And what it actually was, Sin, what was Gamergate? And for some of them, it was like, it was sexist. And for some of them, it was like, it was journalism. And for others, it was like, it was hatred of women. It was funny. It was beautiful. It was beautiful. Is BreadTube that girl who smashes her face in bread? No. BreadTube, for those of you who don't know what it is, around these parts, we call it bread line tube. It is leftist YouTube, and they decided to name themselves after a communist book that had bread in the title. I forget the name of the book exactly. And they decided to name themselves that. Contra is basically the leader of it, which bothers a lot of people. You know what else they fought about, Sinatra? How white it is.
Yeah, BreadTube is very white.
It's white bread tube. That's not no wheat bread.
Wonder BreadTube.
In Search of Bread, is that the name of it, Faithless? That might be the right one. It's some fucking communist manifesto bullshit book. They decided to name themselves after that because Communist Tube was too, I don't know, on the nose. But yeah, they keep going at each other because they don't agree completely. You have to be on their side 100%. Oh, that's what Coffin's video was. He was defending Bernie, and it was over the Joe Rogan thing. Because Joe Rogan came out and said he was going to vote for Bernie, based largely on the fact that Bernie has been consistent his whole life. And Joe Rogan is a lefty, guys. Just because he's anti-SJW, which he is, doesn't mean he's not a lefty. So a lot of people are like, he supported Bernie. Like, yeah, he did. And Bernie retweeted it.
I thought these people liked Bernie.
Oh, no. See, they do. But Bernie retweeted Rogan. And Rogan has made jokes before, including one that he apologized for. He made one that was kind of racist. I'm not going to lie. But he apologized for that. You know when he made it, Sin?
What, probably like 10 years ago?
2012.
Close.
But he's also the one that really pisses them off is that while he's all for, he's very much like me. Be trans if you want to be trans. I don't give a fuck. But don't deny the science of it. And like in the case, because Joe's very big on combat sports, specifically MMA. He's like, if you're going to have a male to female trans person fighting, the females need to know who they're fighting. They need a say in that because of the whole Fallon Fox thing. His whole problem with Fallon Fox, for those who don't know, Fallon Fox, male to female trans, fought in, I can't remember if it was actually UFC or if it was just.
It was.
6 fights, I think it was. She did lose one, but I think it was her second to last fight or her last fight. She hit this woman so hard with one punch that it broke her orbital bone. And the women who have fought her, they're like, I have never been hit that hard in my life. And Joe's like, yeah, because of fucking biology, physiology. The body itself, men and women are different. But his biggest problem was not that she was fighting. It's that the UFC was not telling the female fighters that she was trans. And he's like, they should know that. It should be their choice whether or not they want to get into the ring with somebody who spent the majority of their life as a man. And I don't know why people love watching a man beat up a woman, but apparently some do. But that's what Joe says. He's like, just let them know. I've watched him talk about this, so I've actually seen this shit. But they're like, he's a turf. He's a turf, you guys. So Bernie is supposed to renounce the Joe Rogan endorsement. And Peter Coffin made a video saying, no, that's not what we should do. Yeah, you know what, Sin? I'm watching these fucking assholes from BreadTube actually make the same arguments you and I have made. That, it's okay to disagree with people sometimes.
It is. And they just, They have this weird ideological purity that if you ever like disagree with them on anything, you're a bad person. You're enabling the right wing. You're a racist, sexist Nazi. I don't get it.
I'm being told it wasn't actually the UFC. I don't know for sure. I can't remember. It's been a while since I've looked it up. And Cult of Krill says Peter Coffin is still a thing. Yeah, believe it or not. There's a rise of the left on YouTube, you guys. They'll whine about it. They whine because they get in trouble too. But yeah, Peter Coffin, he's actually Peter's a weird person on YouTube.
It's the left you can't make videos about because they'll report you.
Cat Black got in trouble the other day for suggesting that people should wait to transition, medically transition. She told us what cat's a she, right? Yeah.
No, it's a he.
Well, male to female. So Cat makes this post explaining that they put off transitioning medically until I want to say she said 25, 28, something like that.
Something reasonable.
And then stop transitioning because they couldn't afford the medicine anymore. She couldn't afford the medicine anymore. I don't give too much of a shit about the pronouns. And then started taking them again and said that she thinks that it really helped her to decide, yes, that's what she wants to do. And that she doesn't think it's smart for young people to be making those decisions. And I'm paraphrasing like a motherfucker here, guys. You can go look up Cat Black. It's BLAQUE, I believe, on Twitter and read it for yourself. And it was amazing how many people were like, you fucking whore.
Oh, yeah. They lose all that I am an ally shit real quick.
Yeah. Jeanette says, oh, God, Cat Black said something logical. I know, right? It's amazing. Well, see, you're going to start seeing this a lot more and more because a lot of these people are finally getting to an age where most people used to start maturing at 18. But now they're getting, Cat has made money and she's got her own home and she's got the real world matters a lot more than whether or not we let boys run against girls just because they put on a fucking wig in races in Connecticut. If you don't know what I'm talking about there, look up these Connecticut. It might as well be Canadian. These Connecticut. Why can't I say that?
Connecticut
kids. There's a girl who's suing the school district she was in because they allowed trans kids to enter track and field. And I don't know if you've seen these videos, Sin. The girls, they don't even want to compete anymore because there's 2 trans male to females in their age group. And they are beating these poor girls by let's say it's a 100-meter dash. The girls are at the 50-meter line when the guys are crossing the finish line. It's just sad. They have no chance at all. There's a reason we separate boys and girls in sports. There really is. Because it's not fair. Because no, boys and girls are not the same. Men and women are not the same. We're just not. And when you're talking about the best of the best, a mediocre boy is got a good chance of outrunning the fastest female.
Yep.
That's just science. I know I say that's just science for a lot of shit, but this is literally just science. Yeah, and they're letting him run against these girls, and yeah, you can go watch the videos. They're on YouTube, and I know they were on Twitter for a while. But it's I actually felt bad for the girls. Like, that's not fair at all. That's not fair at all. B Junkie says they went from not qualifying for the men's races to record times for women. Yep. Well, you guys know what blew Zuby up, right? Why he
claimed he was a woman.
He did it. He went and he made a video, and this was in response to that female weightlifter. He went and made a video, and he said for the next 5 minutes or next 2 minutes, whatever, I'm a woman. and then he did a deadlift, and I don't remember if he ever did the bench press, but in both cases he broke the women's world record. And then when he's done, he goes, okay, I have the women's world record, now I'm a man again. And there were a whole lot of people like, that's funny, but it's literally what's happening. It's literally what's happening out there.
But you're not allowed to talk about it for reasons.
I'm pretty sure it's just Zuby. Look him up on Twitter. He's actually, I follow him. He's a smart guy. Do you follow him, Sin?
I think I do.
Now he pushes a lot of. He sells books and stuff, and he's I don't know if he's a trainer, but he pushes that stuff too. Just ignore that and watch the other stuff he said. There was a great. He came to the States for a while. He's English, and he came to the States for a while, and he toured like San Francisco, and his posts about San Francisco are beautiful. He's like, I'd heard about this city, but it's really disgusting. Like, yep, you're not wrong.
And now it's got Corona.
Yeah. Does Zuby rap too? I never paid attention to. Oh yeah, I do. That's right. I did know because his raps aren't actually too bad. I like his political takes. There's a lot of people I follow who do a lot of other stuff where I only care about their political takes because I'm a political junkie. I really am.
Did you see that some provinces in China just aren't reporting the fucking corona numbers?
Oh, we haven't talked about that yet today. No, I haven't. I'm not surprised though. Are you?
No, God, no.
We did have case number, was it 7 or 8 just confirmed in the States? I want to say 8. Still no major spread yet. All of it so far is somebody who's come back from over there. The only one we had the wife and husband who she gave it to him. It's the only human to human transmission we have. And they keep saying it's the only human to human transmission we have. I'm like, no, it's not. How the fuck else is it getting around? Stop that. But it is the only one we have here in the States. And that's because for the most part, when people are coming back, they're either self-quarantining or just getting really fucking lucky. And, I mean, it is what it is. So far, at least, it's not too horrible. They do have those people being quarantined up in, I think they're in Alaska still, where they have to be quarantined for 14 days before they're allowed to come back in the country. We did say that foreign nationals aren't allowed in the country if they've been over there in the Wuhan province.
Yeah, I doubt that's going to last.
We'll see. We'll see what happens.
Because Trump was even reluctant to cancel flights. I don't like that. Like, dude, look out for your citizens. You're not Chinese. You're not any of these other people. Look out for your own citizens.
And I'm with you there. And that's why the foreign nationals part is the one that bothered me because, excuse me. Okay. What about the nationals who are coming back? Are we at least going to quarantine them? Because we should. By all means, bring them back, but lock them in a fucking bubble until we know they're safe. I don't want that shit getting out here.
My favorite thing out of all of this are the people going, "You're racist if you don't get the virus." Fuck off.
Yeah. That's some nonsense that's guys, there are some people out there who are being a little, what's the word I'm looking for here? They're taking the time to take some shots at some Chinese people and stuff. I'm not going to deny that. However, we also, there's a legitimate scare here. I'm not dying over some fucking political correct bullshit. Kiss my ass. There's no reason to pretend that nothing is going on.
And they automatically assume like that one guy said to me, that dude who was like harassing me for and I say that literally because everything I posted, he would be commenting on going, "This is fear porn, fake news." He said Republicans are just using it to try to push for the Civil War.
How?
I don't know.
How do we get civil war out of a virus in China? That's all right, Sam. I had a guy yesterday. Actually, he just tweeted at me again. I mean, where'd that go? Where'd it go? I had it. I should have saved it.
Oh, and my favorite thing he said was, I am abusing YouTube's free speech platform to share hate speech by sharing the video of that nurse from Wuhan.
Oh, the guy there?
No, the nurse.
Oh, I didn't see the nurse one.
The one who said that there were 90,000 people infected.
Oh, I don't know why anybody's
good.
I don't know why anybody's questioning that number.
Because it's hateful, apparently. It's hateful and ignorant.
90,000 infected makes closing down a whole city make more sense.
And by the way, The Guardian is also running with that number too. So they put out an article about a week ago and said that they believe that it could be up to 100,000.
Mike says, got a couple of Chinese families where I live. No one is giving them any hassle. They've been here for years. Yeah, for the most part, you won't. I mean, you might get some jackass who's like, oh, you must have the Wuhan virus. But yeah, I mean, for the most part, we're not talking about like after 9/11 when suddenly if you were Muslim, you might want to shut the hell up for a day. Anyway, so the other day, New York for Sanders tweeted out 40% of Americans can't afford a $400 emergency, which, you know what? I believe that.
I could too, yeah.
However, I responded, let me see what they're spending their money on. Because I do know a shit ton of people who waste every dime they have. And look, it's your money. You can do it. But when you are spending every dime you have and then complaining that you can't afford a $400 emergency, I feel like you need to maybe learn how to do your finances a little better. A classic example here, Sin. There was a guy I used to work with. We all know when you get your taxes, if you have kids, you can get a nice fat refund. You really can with the earned income credit.
Yeah, that used to be nice.
You can get a fat refund, and he did. He comes in, he got his tax refund. I think it was in February when he got it. He comes in and loads up a cart full of electronics. It was like $3,000 worth.
My first real refund I ever got, I got my mom a bunch of furniture because she needed it.
It was less than a month that they had a fundraiser at the store for this guy because he couldn't make his rent.
Jeez.
And some people found out and threw a bitch fit. I mean, they were mad as fuck. And I understand.
Can't really blame them.
No, and this is what I'm talking about. Is there a problem? Sure, maybe. But I know I used to have a friend made twice as much as me. Basically, we're in the same financial situation that we had 3 kids. Each had a house payment we were making that was about the same amount. So all of our bills should have been about the same, making twice as much as me and living a shit ton poorer than I was.
Some people just aren't good with money.
Exactly. And that's my point here. It's not that everybody, there are people who literally live paycheck to paycheck, no dime to spare. But there's a lot of them who ain't. And this guy, why do you assume everybody struggling must be doing something wrong? Look up the word fallacy because you're hitting it hard. First of all, I didn't say every one of those people was doing that, which means that's a straw man, dickhead. Just saying. And I pointed that out to him, to which he responded, why do you assume most of them? Like, I didn't even say most, motherfucker. I just said, let me see. Let me see. Have you seen Crowder's video today?
No.
Crowder did a good video on colleges today because Bernie, wants to pay off everybody's college loans. And they use the number 1.4 trillion is how much debt there is for colleges. and that comes out to $36,000. I don't know if it's per student or per household or whatever the breakdown is. That's what $36,000 per whatever. And Stephen breaks it down by the actual numbers. And for most people, it actually comes out more to about $5,000. For the struggling people, it's more about $5,000. But you can make numbers sound however bad you want them to. 40% of Americans can't afford a $400 emergency. It's tax time. There's a lot of those people should be able to put $400 away and just set it aside.
I mean, you would think, but they don't. They
don't
get money and they go, oh, I'm going to buy all this shit that I'm going to have to sell in a couple months because I can't use it anymore.
There's a reason. If you go to Walmart right now, there are a shit ton of televisions, vacuums. I'm trying to think of other things. Tool sets,
cars
in the main aisles, because they know this is when people are getting their taxes back and they're going to spend every fucking dime of it.
Dude, I got a pamphlet, I guess maybe a coupon in the mail saying it's tax season. Come put $500 down on a car, and we'll match you $500. And it was just, and I live in a not great area, so you can imagine.
Sure.
But the cars there were like, I think the newest one was a 2007. Like, they were not good old fucking cars. Like, come put $500 down, we'll match you $500. Guaranteed interest rate of around 26%. Go fuck yourself.
Fuck. Gunsky says, I just got back from Walmart. TVs everywhere. Yeah, when we were there last, I was there 2 weeks ago, or a week ago. Did I go last Saturday? I think it was. Yeah. There were at least 7 displays of televisions. That's a lot of fucking TVs, man. I don't blame Walmart for that either. That's their job, is to try to sell stuff. But maybe don't buy the 50-inch, you know?
I don't know, man. I need at least a 55.
We do have a 50, but we got it on a ridiculous sale. The store here 2 years ago, they vastly over-ordered the 50-inch televisions for their Blitz. And so my daughter wanted one, and she asked us to go get her one. Like, sure. So we went to the store because they sold out where she was. And they had actually marked them down to $200 because they had so many. Like, well,
really?
Fuck, for $200, I'll get a 50-inch.
Back when I still worked at Best Buy, I got a 65-inch LG, a newer one, just off the display for like $150.
Nice.
It was on display for like 4 years, or not 4 years, probably like a year and a half, maybe 2 years. It was still a $700 TV. And I was like, since it's coming off, can I just buy it? The guy's like, hell yeah.
Ebony says, I get my electronics from Best Buy. I haven't bought electronics in a long time.
I would suggest you stop shopping there.
The last thing I bought was, a new PS2 controller. And yeah, I got that at GameStop, I think.
I got mine on Amazon.
No, that's not a bad way to go either. I just needed it that day. So Super Bowl TV sales far exceed Boxing Day sales. I don't know what that means. All right.
I don't know.
You don't celebrate the Super Bowl, do you, Sin?
I don't care.
You don't have like a party or anything?
No.
How dare you?
I don't give a shit about the Super Bowl.
Super Bowl's tomorrow, man.
I know.
Chiefs and the 49ers for the chance for their bragging rights and their team supporter bragging rights, their fans. Which place should we get our electronics from?
I suggest Amazon. Best Buy, their TVs aren't always kept in the best conditions. I used to have to unload the trucks. Dude, they are fucking just toppled over. I'm surprised you don't get more broken shit in there.
Mentrek says, how dare you? What are you, Greta? I've been saying that for a while. I actually was saying it before Greta, but not very often. But after she said it, I can't help myself. What I do is if I don't need something immediately, if I don't need it right now, I will go shop at different stores and compare the price with Amazon and pick the cheapest one. It has been my experience. Most of the things that I have to buy, replace a TV or some shit like that, it doesn't much matter what you get. It doesn't.
No, you're not going to get some insanely good TV like that you've never seen before. That's absolutely incredible. That just doesn't happen.
And most other things, I mean, they're sold between the stores. I mean, like if you're going for, say, video games, an Xbox at Walmart is the same as an Xbox from Amazon.
Yep, and you're likely going to pay less on Amazon.
Yep. You know what? We were, this was years and years ago, when I first made my first, well, it wasn't my first video, because my first 6 or 8 videos, I forget how many, I borrowed a gaming headset for my son to record the audio.
Right.
And we were down in Grand Rapids, and we always went to Best Buy afterwards. Didn't always get something, but always went there. And I'd heard people talk about the blue snowballs, and I saw them there. I'm like, oh, that's awesome. I wonder how much they are. $79. Like, wow. So I pulled out my phone and I looked up on Amazon. $49.
Oh yeah.
It's like, what the fuck? And everywhere else except for Best Buy sells it for $20 more. Even you can buy it off the Snowball website. I forget who makes it. Blue. Yeah.
You just said it. You just said Blue Snowball.
I know, but my brain. Sin, give me a break here. I'm crippled. I take medicine that makes my brain hurt. Yeah. Anyway, you can buy it off the Blue Snowball website for $50. And yeah, fucking Best Buy, $79. Like, go fuck yourselves.
Dude, I don't know. I don't give a shit. The charger cables there, the Insignia branded charger cables, the HDMI specifically, they sell for $100 around there. No, it's Rocketfish. You can look it up right now. Rocketfish, Insignia, and something else are the house brands at Best Buy. They sell them for $100 or so. The store buys them for $1 a piece.
Damn. I buy most of my cords from Walmart because they're insanely cheap.
Dude, Amazon, you can get a 10-pack for $4.
Usually if I need a cord, I need it right now. I don't buy in advance.
I have a whole drawer of just in case of emergency cords.
Oh, so do I. I mean, but like I said, if I'm buying a cord, it's because I need it right now because I don't have any more. The last time I had to do that was to set up Lady Monkey's office. I needed a 100-foot HDMI cable. Not HDMI. Fuck.
Ethernet.
Yeah, I needed that and a phone cord, both of them. And so, yeah, I just went to Walmart real fast, and I think it was like $15 for both of them.
That's not bad.
No. But, ladies and gentlemen, I got a show to do later tonight, so we're going to wrap this one up, Sin. Oh, fuck. Thank you so much for coming and hanging out with us today. I really do appreciate that no matter what time I do this show, you guys show up and show love. You guys are amazing. Thank you so much for the donations. I didn't even shill and I got donations, Sin. They're awesome people.
Very good.
They're very good people. Best audience in the world, and I'll bite anybody who says differently. Sin, anything you want to show?
I am doing absolutely nothing today except for Satsu's stream later on 2 Cents Plus.
Tonight we're going to be on my channel, 9 p.m. Eastern for Lords of the Night. Then, as Sin just mentioned, 2 Cents Plus, usually about 11:15, guys. We'll be playing some Dark Souls 2. Sin is determined to get me past the place I've been stuck for an episode and a half. So we'll see if that happens. But otherwise, guys, nothing else planned. I know I haven't been on my game channel in over a week. I will get back. I will. I just have to find something that I had fun with Graveyard Keeper, but I kind of lost my interest after the first couple of episodes. It's such a grindy game, Sin. It's fun, but it's grindy. And But, ladies and gentlemen, thanks for watching. I'd like to thank Scribe Light, who's no longer here. on the show. He's still alive. And
He's no longer with us.
he's no longer with us. And Sin for joining me. Everybody, have a great Saturday. We'll see you next time.
See ya.
I'm